This is something I did when I got home with regard to this roof situation here. You recall how N was definitely not going to be acceptable. That was where we would try to truncate this against a beam or some other structure going across here. But several things occurred to me, and so I've made these changes. And this is the plan that I'm actually going to put together for export for you to try out on the viewer program. Because this is also the one that has the modified, simplified interior stairs. But anyway, in looking at this elevation, this was M, as in Mark, say. And you see these pieces of trim that are underneath this, what I call soffit or cornice molding. How this, you can hardly see it in this, this picture is so bright. I don't know, that doesn't really help it. Anyway, there's this piece of molding comes across and it dies about the top of the bottom of the slate, and so I considered trying to bring this down a little bit, give it a little bit less of a raw edge, and so I'm considering putting something like this in so that the bottom of this, it's only partially drawn, dies in at the bottom of the slate, similar to this piece against the wall that you can hardly see. And so if you look at this, though, you can see it better. Here's the piece I'm talking about that dies roughly at the bottom of that slate. This is a little different situation because that spouting stops right there, and our spouting continues. So I've built this little structure right here, coming through here, and then lowered the ceiling some. Nobody's ever going to see this little scrap of slate, so probably won't even be there. And so we went, so I did that, and we go from this. This is on M here. We go from this, and that. Oh, and these two. This is M. Alright, to this. You can see the piece I've added down through here. And this. And that. That. And that. Which is a much more finished look. It manages to bring the ceiling down 4 or 5 inches, which probably helps. Anyway, that's what I'm sending over, and you can explore that. There's also a precedent for this kind of crown, then this, then ceiling at the front porch. So you also have that. I want to briefly add a little tiny bit to this film where I directly compare each photo, just because I know I ran through 5 in a row on each one. Here is that direct picture-for-picture comparison on the before and the after. Just ignore what happens with that window on the left. Before, after. Okay, and then before, after. Okay. Before, after. Okay. Right, okay, the camera's wrong as usual. But before, after. Before, after. So, there you go.